record button, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass, which is all about sort of discussing, if you want to become a personal stylist, an image consultant, or personal shopper, discussion around, why the image industry could be the perfect option for you, but equally giving you a sort of insight as to what's involved in the role, in the job, how you might be able to make it work for you, how you might find the perfect clients for you, and give you some examples of consultants who have already set up their businesses after training through one of my training programs, and so that you have an idea about, just to sort of kind of whet your appetite really as to what's possible. And I think that's all, that's what I really want to cover today. So you are in the right place if you'd like to understand more about image consultancy and the opportunities that are available to you. You might be looking to increase your income and add more skills to an existing business. Or perhaps you're interested in setting up your own image-related business because you're looking for a more flexible and interesting job role. Or you just want to do something more creative and inspiring. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Gail Morgan, and I've had the pleasure and privilege of being an image consultant and trainer for over 24 years. I've been president of the Federation of Image Professionals International, based here in the UK, and I'm also a member of AICI, based in the United States, and I'm actually only one of about 5 people in the whole world qualified on both sides of the Atlantic. So I've been busy over my times, worked with lots and lots of different people, lots of companies, and I've been an assessor for the City and Guilds Award, which we run over here, and personal shopper for John Lewis department stores. So that's just a few of the things that I've had the pleasure of doing over the last 24 years. But I've also been privileged to be allowed to work in numerous women's wardrobes, helping them to feel more comfortable and confident about their clothes. As I've run corporate seminars looking at the importance of personal branding, and I train people to join this amazing profession and set up their own image consultancy and style businesses. And it's amazing and fantastic to see how they flourish and develop once they've got the knowledge to go out there and share with their own clients. Plus, I'm a wife and mum, and I've built my business around my kids. As you can see, they're quite grown up now, but I've worked consistently around them as they've grown up. So I have been able to do that elusive go to the sports day, be around in the summer holidays for them, etc., etc. And actually, this is the first year, I think, when I haven't had to be ferrying one of my children around during the summer holidays. So that's an interesting new lease on life. Okay, so what you'll discover today is find out what a career in the image industry entails and why people need us. Because there is a market out there, people do need us. So we're going to look at how a few other people have set up their own style businesses, maybe discover if it's going to be the right career choice for you, and then help you realise your dream of getting paid to go shopping, which does happen. You are muted throughout the presentation, but if you have a question, please type it into the box on the right-hand side of the screen. I have had a few questions sent in already, so I will answer them towards the end. But if there's something that pops into your head as I'm going through this, then please put it into the chat box and I will endeavour to answer at that point or at a later stage. And it really, really does make my life a lot easier if you get involved. So, do ask those questions as we're going along. So a little bit of background about me. I was kind of my style decade, if you like, unfortunately, was probably the 1980s. So I was kind of, that was my era of sort of learning about fashion, getting involved in clothes. Even though many people say it was the decade that style forgot, we always thought we were cool, even though we were in rah-rah skirts and leg warmers. But, you know, we had lots of different people to kind of follow, and as you can imagine, it's quite interesting to look back on those times. I don't think styles have been quite so extreme since then. But it gave us some role models. It gave us it was very interesting kind of fashion times. And towards the end of the 1980s, my mum had her colours done. So she had a colour analysis, and I was lucky enough to sit in on her consultation. And I just saw the difference it made to her, both during the session, but also in the following few weeks, because I was at home, I was convalescing from an operation. And it really helped, it also helped our relationship as well, looking back, because Mum had never been anyone to, you know, we never went shopping as a leisure activity, which I do with my daughter. And so, you know, suddenly she had an interest in clothes and fashion because she'd never really kind of got it before. And so because that was what I was doing and working in retail, it helped us to be able to talk about these things. And even now, you know, over 80, she can still look amazing and still would stick to her colours absolutely rigidly, but you know, in a good way, in the sense that she's always choosing the right colours for herself and will always look much, much younger than she actually is. So in many ways it was fantastic for us. But it also kind of sowed a seed of interest in me, so that when I found out I was pregnant with my son, looking gorgeous there, I decided to train. So I trained whilst I was pregnant with him and set my business up a few months after he was born. And, you know, I wouldn't say it was easy all the time, but it was, as I said before, it was a good, flexible job to have around him, and then when my daughter was born as well. And, you know, so it was fantastic. I did my training up in the northeast of England, and then came back down to Cardiff, which is where we were living at the time, to set up the business. And, you know, I developed very quickly, found clients quite quickly through a number of avenues, which mainly were networking, because I can assure you that marketing in the early 90s is a heck of a lot different to how it is now. So, you know, really all I never needed to do was to have a few brochures, a few leaflets, an advert in the Yellow Pages, and you know, a good list of contacts that I'd met at various business meetings, and you know, my client base was kind of developed. I'm not saying it's completely different, because I still think that's really vital for people when you're first starting out, but we have so many other kind of avenues now. We don't have to send out lots and lots of letters to people. We can just put it on an email and send that out to people, and so we've got a much wider reach. And much quicker, and much less expensive, in the sense of not having to put stamps and envelopes and write out letters to people anymore. So, you know, it's different, but equally, you know, you still need to get out there and meet people and talk to people in your locality to help you start to grow your business. And, you know, all my training courses that I've developed over the years will include some element of colour, style and business marketing, because you need that to be able to, you know, you could be the best trained personal stylist or image consultant out there, but if you haven't got any clients, then you're not going to have a business. So it is really important to have that business marketing element as well. So I've got three main courses, just to quickly run through these before we get into the content. So we've got the Image Professional course, which is everything from men to corporate to colour to makeup. So you have everything in there. And that can be studied either in the classroom, face-to-face, or at home. We've got the Personal Stylist course, which is a more focused option, which focuses on either men or women. And again, you can do that at home or face-to-face. And then the Personal Shopper course, which is my new course, which is all online and will get you started quickly and working with women in their wardrobes and when out shopping. But that's just to give you a quick rundown there. So why is image important? And, you know, why is there a need for us out in the marketplace? So in many ways, a lot of women will employ us because they want to feel comfortable and confident in their clothes. They want some help and some guidance so that they don't waste time or money when they're shopping. And that is absolutely the bread and butter of a lot of our businesses. But if we get down to the kind of nitty gritty of why image is important, it is a non-verbal communication. It is the impression that a person or organisation gives to the public or section of the public. And, it really does determine how others see you. So it is important to kind of have that kind of almost extra thing in your toolkit, especially if you're in business or you're working with clients who are in business, because those first impressions do last, and if you haven't made the right first impression, it can be very difficult to change it. It actually can take up to 21 more interactions with someone to even get back on a level playing field if you've made a bad first impression. So and a lot of this is because humans believe what they see. It goes back to the sort of the days of the dinosaur, and if we saw something that was potentially going to eat us, then we'd run away. But we have to make those snap decisions, those gut instinct decisions. So when we meet someone for the first time, there's all sorts of things going on in our brain, which if you're aware of, then you can kind of be consciously aware of that. But usually we just go on this gut instinct, which is based often around past experiences for ourselves or for others. So there was a study done way back when, actually, but it's never been kind of countered. So this was done in the late 70s by Albert Morabian, and he sort of did this this study and found out that when we meet someone for the first time, the impact that the person makes on us is based around 3 areas. So someone's appearance, their body language, their facial expressions, their voice and the tone of their voice, and also what we say. And as you can see here, these were the percentages that he kind of put to those different elements. So 55% of our initial impact that we make on other people is based around the appearance, body language and facial expressions. So that's massive. And only 7% is what we actually say. So, if you're ever doing a presentation, then, we tend to panic about the content or what we're going to say. But often people will just be noticing, what you look like, what you're wearing, whether that's consistent with your message as well, because that's important. And so, certainly as you get more into the presentation, that kind of balances out. But at least initially, then you could have those thoughts. So, just out of this, just be aware that we do make these judgments about people, not because we're doing it to be mean and nasty. It's just how we're built as humans that we have to, it's a kind of protection element, if you like. So we make these decisions and judgments about people in a few seconds based on the gut instinct. The decisions are subconscious and they're based on assumptions and, as I say, biased by our own experiences. So first impressions really do count. And, when we're working one-to-one with clients, it's often looking at personal branding. So, think about this for yourself as well, because I think, if you haven't done this exercise for yourself, you can't go out there and sort of teach it to your potential clients. And, if you take nothing else away from today, think about how you want to brand yourself and how you want to be portrayed, how you want people to think about you, and how you want to present yourself. So if you could kind of think, what I usually do with clients is say, if someone was to describe you or how you would want other people to believe about you in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? Now, these words can vary. They can vary between a social situation and a business situation. So there may be completely different adjectives that you'd use then. But it does help you enormously when you are then thinking about what you're going to wear for that particular day, because you can think about who you're going to be interacting with and how you want to present yourself to them. So words that often come up when I run this exercise are that people want to be seen as professional. They might want to be seen as dynamic or assertive, trustworthy, confident, knowledgeable. And my three, certainly when I'm at training or with people, that actually are the top three. I didn't even realise that until I started reading them, but those are mine that I would hope that people would believe about me. So for that reason, I would think about the sort of colours I would wear, I'd think about the styles of clothes, the fabrics I would wear, and what my grooming might be like. If I want to be seen as approachable, not that I would wear black because it's too hard a colour for me, but I wouldn't want to put a very dark black colour on me because, it's seen as unapproachable, as a bit standoffish. If you think of Victoria Beckham, she wears a lot of black because she wants to put that barrier up between herself and the media. Whereas if you're a coach or you're an image consultant or you want people to share with you, wearing something head to toe black is not really a good idea. Even if it's a brilliant colour or natural colouring, it's not actually going to project that message. So having an understanding of colour psychology, having an understanding of different sort of shapes of clothes and styles of clothes that you could fit around these different adjectives will help you to help your client when they are looking at the clothes in their wardrobe or when you're going shopping with them, because you can dismiss garments very quickly, and even if they haven't tried them on, because they don't tick the boxes, if you like, for this for these words. So have a think, do it for yourself. Think about the three words. If you want to pop them into the chat box, please do, and give you some hints if you're not sure about how you might be able to project that. But I think this is a fantastic way to just be able to start to kind of promote who you are out to the world. And if you know that that's how you want to come across, then, if I was professional, approachable and knowledgeable, I'm not going to go to a meeting trying to project those attributes wearing, I don't know, shorts and a strappy top, which I might wear on holiday, but I'm not going to wear that going to a meeting or going to meet a client when I want to project those attributes. So we do need this knowledge every day with whatever we do when we're interacting with others. And, with what we do with the job role working in the style industry, it can start with the understanding of perfect colours and styles that will flatter us. But as you can see, it can go a lot deeper and can be used in a variety of different situations, both with corporate teams and private individuals. And so it really does depend on, if you were to train, who you want to work with. And that is the most important part of kind of finding out who the ideal people are for you. So why do people train to join the image industry? It's usually either because they want to set up a new career, because they're fed up with the 9 to 5 and want to start something new and start their own business, or they want to something flexible to fit around their family or their work. And as I say, it could be that they want to add new skills to an existing business. So here are a couple of examples of some of my trainees that have gone through the training and what they did and what they do now. This is Hayley. She used to be a solicitor and she trained whilst she was on maternity leave. Her little boy is about 2.5, 3 now. And she's built up her clientele over the last couple of years, and she's now got, she's based near Nottingham, so she's got lots of local clients. She's got a very good online reach as well, so she does lots of things on Facebook, but she's also getting clients in London because her contacts, people are referring her from Nottingham to friends who are in London, and she's starting to move south, as it were, so she can come down for the day and work with a client in London and then go back home. She's featured in newspapers locally and run fashion shows plus done loads and loads of other things, and she's having a ball. And so if you want to check out what Hayley's up to, then please have a look at her website. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. And then in contrast, we've got Iris, who's based in Northern Ireland, and she's been a hairdresser for about 40 years. But she trained nearly 2 years ago, and she wanted to retire from being a full-time hairdresser as her husband was retiring, and she didn't want those hours anymore, but she still wanted to do some work but not be so kind of tied to the hairdressing role. And so she did the image professional course, and she's been collaborating with recruitment consultants and building up her client base from her past hairdressing clients. But she retired as a hairdresser earlier this year, and has spent the summer travelling around and looking after her new grandchild. But she's also been speaking at various events, and she hasn't even got a full website yet. So, a lot of people get panicked and think, oh, I have to go and invest in a huge website when I first get started. You certainly don't. She's just worked with a Facebook page at the moment, but as she gets more into it this autumn, I'm sure she will go to a website. So don't think you have to have an all singing and all dancing website as soon as you start. You certainly don't. In fact, one of my most successful consultants, she's never had a website for about 5 years, and so she just did a lot of networking, and would just have she just had a page which had her domain name, and it just had her contact details on there, so people could still find her and contact her. And then we have Daisy, who works as an image consultant part-time. She has an admin job that she does part-time as well. And she is going great guns. She's set up a whole new kind of program, which is called Walk-in Wardrobe, which is about clothes swapping and parties and workshops. So she rents a room, she charges people a nominal amount of sort of 10 or 15 pounds. They come in, they get a glass of bubbly or a cake, and they bring any clothes that they don't want, and then they can take away any clothes that they find on the racks there. So it's very environmentally friendly, and she has been featured in the press. She is speaking at our Federation's conference in September because she's developing the concept across the UK. So an amazing lady, and again, check out what she's doing at her website there. So it's really over to you. So, what I would always say to people is, think about who you could work with, and, and how would you like to work? So do you want to work part-time? Do you want to fit it in around the family or another job? What are your existing skills, and how could you use your existing experience? I've got another consultant who used to be a teacher, and so she is focused on talking to teachers. She's done some sort of workshops at teacher conferences, because she knows what it's like to be a teacher and the issues that they have with their wardrobe. Likewise, Hayley has spoken to some solicitor groups, so she can help women who are in the law to, because she understands what their issues are. So, use your initial, your existing experience and your skills to help you. If you've never worked in corporate, then you probably don't want to go and start doing corporate training straight away. But if you have got a corporate background, then it could be perfect for you, because you know the language to speak, and you know the sort of, as again, the issues that those people might have. So think about those things, and then you can start to target or think about the people that are going to be the right person for you. Equally, it could be people who, if you've just stopped to have a baby, Hayley could work with, NCT groups, because she's, and women who are going through pregnancy or come out the other side and their clothes just don't work for them anymore. So there are lots of groups of women and people out there who you could work with. One of my consultants works with transsexual women. So she's in Brighton, so it's kind of almost an ideal position and place for her, and is building a really strong reputation working with that niche group. So the world really is your oyster. So it really does work. The training, I've been using and updating and refining the training for many years. As I say, I've trained many, numerous consultants around the world who've changed both their lives and their clients as well. Because if you understand why something does or doesn't work for your client's body, you can save them time, money, and angst. And if you know how and where to find your ideal clients, they'll be clamoring for you to come and help them. And then if you study in a way that suits you and your lifestyle, you're going to be able to get started as quickly as possible. So I'm not sure why you showed up today. It may be because friends and family always ask for your advice whenever they go shopping or need an outfit for a special occasion. It may be because you know you want to train to become a personal stylist or image consultant and you weren't really sure where to start. Or it may be that you're just curious to find out more because, there must be a simpler way to get dressed. And it is possible. So there's a simple process to helping others to love their clothes and loving your clothes as well. It's a simple process to being fulfilled in the work that you do and to start your own style business. So you have a choice. You could do it slowly, read some magazines, read the books, and use some of what I've taught you today. You could spend hours looking through your clothes or your friends' clothes trying to decide what's right. Or, obviously, you could train to become an image consultant, personal stylist, or personal shopper and set up your own fun, flexible, and fabulous business. So the training courses will give you confidence because you know that you've trained with a certified training company. So I'm certified with FIPI in here and the City and Guilds. So we're trained to the standard of that award. It'll give you knowledge to work with clients and be able to explain why certain clothes don't work and others do work and why others don't. And then it gives you expertise to find clients and to set up a successful style business. And I've done all the hard work for you so that you can feel like this and not like this. And I'm really a big believer in making things as simple as possible. So we do simple, straightforward training and it's practical. It's built around what I've found that works and what I've seen has worked with other people and who've been through the training as well. So it's flexible, professional and affordable and certified by City and Guilds. So as I said before, we've got options so you can train face-to-face. So we do face-to-face training in small groups in the classroom or home study. So you can work at home and work through the different modules in your own time. There are 3 different courses. So as I said, the image professional, which has got everything, the personal stylist, which is focused on men's or women's style, or the personal shopper, which is getting you started and so that you can help women in their wardrobe and when you're out shopping. So choose the one that's right for you. Whatever level you start at, you can always add more at a later stage and build on your knowledge. I do early bird offers for the face-to-face training, so I'm starting to do some a round of the image professional course starting in September. So we've got a 5% discount on that just for the next week or so if you're interested in starting with the image professional, and they're going to be run over 4 weekends over the autumn. So you've got plenty of time to kind of embed your knowledge and to practice on friends and family. And so you can build your knowledge over that period. And so, but equally, you can start earning money from, the colour analysis from after the first weekend. We do instalment payments as well, so you can spread the cost because it's all about, I want you to get started. I want you to get out there, enjoy doing the job and help the people that you want to help. So to help you with that, please book a call with me if you want to have a one-to-one 30-minute call, which will help you clarify your ideas, your dreams, your thoughts. There's absolutely no obligation to buy. It's a chance to share. I can point you in the right direction, give you some more ideas and, help you to get out there and start doing this job because it's amazing. It'll be just genuine guidance and feedback to see whether this is the right course of action for you. So if you want to book a 30-minute call, I've got a few spaces next week and they are there for you to go and book up. And please feel free to do that, because I'm here to help. I've been there, probably worn the t-shirt, and here to guide you to the right solution for you. So if anyone's got any questions, please pop them in the chat box, and I will cover them for now. Just take a slurp of water because I've been chatting away for a while. Now let me just check as I've got Francesca asked me a few questions, so hopefully I can help you with those. So mostly business orientated here, Francesca. So she asked me, how do you start your business? Now again, it depends on who you think you want to focus on, and where you think who you want to focus on. Sorry. So how to start your business? Again, I presume you're based in the UK. There are various different courses that you can go on that will help you with business planning. I would also advise you going to sort of your local area. They will have business startup kind of programs, which is always useful because they're usually either free or subsidized kind of courses to help you. It's certainly, when I first started, I went on a program which was designed to help people come off unemployment into setting up their own businesses. But it was a 6-week course, and it was fantastic because I learned all sorts of basic business planning, but it gave you that kind of basics there. Obviously, we cover all of these things in the business marketing program, which is part of the course. But if there's anything else more specific, then ask me. How you build your business, it's about finding those clients. And I think if you can find clients that you are going to enjoy working with, that you can share, maybe an experience that you've been through. I've known other image consultants who've maybe been very petite, or they've lost a lot of weight, or they've been through an experience in their life which they can then share with their potential clients, and those potential clients think, oh yeah, she's really going to understand me because she's been through that process herself. If you're targeting size 18 plus women and you're a size 8, they're probably not going to employ you because they're not going to believe you understand their problems. Whereas if you can show before and after pictures, or you are a curvy 16, 18 consultant, then those women are going to feel more comfortable coming to you because they're going to feel that you understand them. So, all of that's kind of around how do you generate customers as well. Again, when you first start, it's through friends and family, it's through networking, and then you might move into the world of online. But as most people who are image consultants or personal stylists, you're working quite locally, so it is about getting to know the local area and getting to meet people. So there are a variety of different networking groups that you can join, but again, I would always think about whether it's the right networking group for your particular market. And so you asked me, where do I advertise for business? I don't generally do advertise because I don't find advertising in the traditional sense of the word would work. I've done newspaper adverts. Have put adverts in the Yellow Pages, but I don't anymore because the Yellow Pages is too small. So it is about going out there and talking to people. It's about having a business card, and I can't think. Do I pay for advertising? No, maybe you might advertise on somewhere like Facebook, but not straight away because it's not relevant. It is about building a network and a referral network, because that's going to be much stronger for most people. Obviously, if you're in another industry where it's harder to tap into, you might have to do a bit more of kind of Facebook or LinkedIn, but it's more about maybe writing or presenting or being a speaker than actually paying for an advert, because a little tiny advert in a newspaper, I can assure you, does not work, and it's just not worth spending your money on it. Okay. Mariana asks me, thanks for space to walk us through the course. I'd like to know how long does it take to conclude the course when choosing the study at home module. I'm Brazilian based in Germany. Fantastic. And also how I can define which package is the best for me. Okay, so Mariana, it depends on again, it depends on who you want to work with at the end of it all as to which is going to be the best package for you, I would say. If you know at this stage that you want to potentially work with men, that you want to maybe move into the corporate environment, then I would definitely say, and you want makeup, then I would say definitely go for the image professional, because it will give you the whole shebang. It will give you a full rounded complement of everything you're ever going to need when you're out in working. And it means, you might target women, but it means you could then work with their husbands or their partners. So, you're not restricted there. And you also get the full colour analysis module with that one. If, however, you think, right, well, actually, I just want to start with women and I want to get started there, and I want to be able to do some colour analysis, then the personal stylist could be the best one for you, where you do a shorter colour analysis module, but you've got all the women's style, you've got all the wardrobe weeding, personal shopping, and the business and marketing program. So that is, I love that program because it is perfect. It's got everything to really get you going. And as I say, a lot of people do add in extra, and they might add in the menswear with that, or they might add in the full colour module. So there is flexibility there. So don't think you have to just buy one thing. I've packaged it up in this way, so because it works for most people. But if there's something you think, oh, I'd like a bit of that, but I'm not sure whether I want that, book a call, we'll have a chat, and we can talk it through. We can Skype, that's not an issue. So we can chat, no problem, if you're in Germany, so that's not an issue. So again, it depends on how long you do the course, but which course you do as to how long it's going to take you. But generally it would take, most people take about 3 months to do the personal stylist, and maybe about 4 months to do the image professional. But it really depends on you. If you're prepared, if you've got time that you can focus on it, then you could do it much quicker. The quickest one someone did was sort of over a weekend. They did the menswear module over the weekend. But most people, it's going to take a little bit longer. And you've also got time you need to allow time to practice and to do your assignments and assessments, because there is an element of that in there as well, as you would expect, because it's a professional course. But there's mentoring all the way through. And in the beginning of towards the end of September, I'm going to be running my autumn style school, which I can see Monica's on the call, and she did this a couple of years ago. And it's basically, what happens is that you start the course and I give you homework, basically. So every 2 weeks we have a call, and there's an accountability call. So I'll say, right, well, in 2 weeks time I expect you to got up to page such and such and to have done this. So it's accountability, so it's kind of guiding you through the whole process. And so if you sign up within the next few weeks, and there'll be an email going out either tomorrow or on Monday about this, but you can have that style school for free, and normally that's about £700 to do that. So but I'm offering it for free if you sign up in the next 3 weeks or so. So that might be something you want to think about, because it does help you. It's great because you kind of have got a group of people that you work through the training with, and so you can kind of share ideas with one another. And we have a group shopping day if you can make it. It might be difficult for you and based in Germany, but again, you can come along to that if you're we usually do it in London. But hey, we can always change that. Okay, thanks, Marianne. That helps anyway. So if anyone else has got any questions, then please do that. I can speak very fast, so hopefully you've got that. So yes, Sarah says, is there any ongoing help or support? Yep, absolutely. So as I said, if you do the style school, then you get fortnightly calls through that time if you're doing the study at home modules. If you have trained either face-to-face, obviously you get support from me during the training and afterwards. We have monthly sort of drop-in Q&A sessions online as well, where you can just ring in and ask me any questions. We have at least 2 consultant face-to-face meetings a year where we'll either go and do something. So we've been on a visit to a lingerie company, and we learnt how to do sort of about the importance of bra fitting one time, and we're probably going to go to an exhibition in London in November for this one. But other times we just have a day where there's about 3 or 4 topics which we discuss, and we just share good practice with one another. And we also have some advanced workshops that I run as well a couple of times a year. And we've also got a Facebook group which is really good, and people share again ideas and will ask questions of one another. And so someone might say, I've got a client who's got small feet, anyone know a good supplier for this? And then people will chip in and help. So it's sharing knowledge and information with one another. Okay, so hopefully that's helped that for you, that's Sarah. Victoria asks, hi Gail, where do I find information on pricing for charging clients? I'm not sure where you're based, Victoria, but generally I say to people is, go and have a look in your local area. Do a bit of online research. Not everyone will put prices on their website, so you might have to ring someone up to find out, but it's always interesting when you do that, just to see what their customer service is like, how they how they answer their phone, how they talk to you, what sort of services they offer. But it'll give you an idea on the sort of the price, the hourly rate kind of for your area. So it will vary, certainly in the UK, it'll vary as to whether you're based in London, whether you're based in Manchester, as to whether you're based in the wilds of Cornwall maybe, because there will be a difference in prices that you can charge. So in London or in a capital city, generally you'll be able to charge a lot more than you will do if you're in a more rural area. But also, look at how you might package up your services as well. So it's not just about charging by the hour, it's about the value that you offer to your clients. And so a lot of the time it's about, the marketing and the words that you use, which will help those people come to you. And if you are, sort of focused on a particular group as well, even though it seems counterintuitive, they are more likely to come to you. And as I said before, you might focus on the young mums, or not necessarily young, but the mums with young children. But it doesn't mean that once you've helped them, that they don't then say, oh, could you help my mum? Could you help my sister? Could you help my husband? And so then you've got those people to help as well. So don't think just by sort of narrowing the people you target that you're still not going to be able to work with a variety of people, because you certainly will. It does make a big difference. So Francesca says, what do I charge a client? Ooh, it depends. Depends what I'm doing with them. But again, it depends if I'm going into London with them, to be honest. So it could be £100 an hour if I'm in London. It could be £60 an hour if it's nearer to home. But again, it depends. It could be a package, you see. So I'm just doing a load of new pricing for my my clients. But hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. But certainly in the UK, it could be, as I say, in up north or in the wilds of the country, it might be £30 or £40 an hour that you'd be kind of ranging it. But in London, it could be £100 or £100 plus an hour. But it could be that you say, right, well, I'm doing a 4-hour shop with someone, so that's my package, it's £400. And so, there's all sorts of variables that you can put in there. But, but we're not working, 40 hours a week at that rate. So you do have, that's why it's, it might seem high or it might seem low, depends on where you're at. But, that's kind of how to price it. Okay, so, and Amy says, are there any other costs apart from the training? Well, with the training, you get all your equipment and everything that you'd need to get started in the business. But as if you were starting any business, I would say, you still got costs like business cards or, say, potentially a website, but I wouldn't ever do that straight away. But it could be some sort of web presence, networking fees, that sort of thing. And also, if you're doing the colour analysis, I would advise, even though you get, a one of each swatch, which is the credit card sort of wallet of colours that you give to people after a colour consultation. You get one of each of those in your training kit. I would have a supply of those for your clients once you're charging them, because they really want to have that to take home with them afterwards. So, those would be the main costs that you would have initially to get started. Okie doke. So, anything else? Don't think I can see any other questions there. Oh, Natalie says, Natalia says, I'm based in Windsor and I'd like to know about taxes and all that kind of things. Yeah. This is, I got in the business, I'm not going to say I'm an expert on taxes, okay, but in the business marketing program, I got my accountant to write that part of the program. So it's all kind of listed in there about what you need to do and everything else. And with taxes, it really depends on whether you are still working for another company at the same time as doing your image consultancy part-time. But the most important thing is that with anything on the finance side of things and doing your bookkeeping and those elements, I would say is get a separate bank account to put any business expenses and payments through, so that they're separate from your everyday bank account. It doesn't necessarily have to be a business bank account, but just have a separate bank account. And also get receipts of everything that you've bought and that you have used in any sort of way to help you build your business. So obviously things like your training, things like your business cards, things like networking fees are all tax deductible, so they would come off your basic tax allowance, so that you wouldn't have to, you kind of have all these things which are tax deductible, so that you get to a certain point until you have to start paying tax. I hope that helps, Natalia. But those would be my top three things, would be to get your own bank account, to get a separate bank account, to get receipts for everything, and just make sure that and have a receipt book as well, actually, to give to clients, so that when they've paid for a consultation, then you've got a record of it as well. Okay, Francesca says, would you recommend setting up a company or being a sole proprietor? Definitely, when you first start it, be a sole trader. Because there is no need to set up a limited company. It has tax benefits as you grow, but certainly when you first start, you don't want any of that kind of red tape. You can just be a sole trader, and that's absolutely fine, and there's no need to be a company. What you might need to check out is that there's nobody else, think about what your name is, that there's nobody else with a limited company doing the same sort of thing. But you could do that nowadays more often than not just by putting a name into Google and seeing whether a website comes up. Or if you want to check domains, then I use just a company called 123. So think numbers 123 and then REG 123 Reg, and you can check domain names and see whether that whether a domain name is available, but also to see, maybe check out who else has got that name. Thanks, Natalia says, great. Hope that does help. Okay. Victoria says, if you're doing personal shopping, how do you decide on what shops to take a client? And do I have to have a detailed knowledge of shops, perhaps in the high street? I would say that you don't necessarily need detailed knowledge, but we do cover different shops certainly in the UK, that are available in the high street, and what sort of, people might like those. But it actually, I would say you need to be aware of sort of price points and the kind of garments that you would get in those different shops, and whether they're going to be appropriate to the client. Because, when you're shopping with them, it is about them and making sure you're going to the right shops for them. I can remember taking a client shopping once very early on, and we were just wandering around, and we weren't wandering around. I was taking her shopping, and then we walked into one of my favourite shops, and she kind of looked around. She said, "Why are we in here?" And I thought, yeah, why are we in here? This is my shop. It's not your shop. Let's go to a shop that's more appropriate for you. So but that comes with time and with knowledge, of knowing which are going to be the best shops for you, for that particular client. But if I am shopping with a client, I would generally always start off in a department store anyway, because there you're going to get a range of different brands, different price points, and you're going to get a sense of potentially what suits her body and budget, and then you can kind of go out into the shopping mall to find the right shops that will be for her after that. But with all these things, you start to learn them, which are going to be the best shops, and you will always have your favourites, but it also takes you out of your comfort zone as well, to make sure that you go and visit shops that are maybe different to the ones that you would potentially always go into yourself. Okay, great. Any other questions? Looks like everyone's great questions, everyone. Thanks very much. You've been brilliant. Put me on my toes. And that's lovely. No, I can't see any more coming in at the moment. But if you've got any more questions, then just email me or book a time for a call, and we can chat through that in a bit more detail if there's anything more personal that you want to go through. But hopefully that's helped, given you a chance to kind of consider the possibilities and the options that might be available to you. And as I say, if I can help in any other way, then just ping me an email or book a call. All right, I'll let you go back to hopefully getting some lunch now and enjoying that sunshine. All right, bye for now.